Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I'm with my Honda CB550F1 from 1976. I love this bike and it needs a lot of love and attention. The first thing being this locked up rear brake. As you can see, this thing is elevated on the centre stand and this thing is completely and utterly seized up. So what I'm hoping is the thing that's seized up is not the actual drums and the springs inside, but it's the mechanism on the outside that's either gunked up, gunged up and just really stiff. So here's the rear drum mechanism. There's the drum inside of those Honda Comstars, not original. Here's your sort of lever, and here are all the bits in here. You've got the little oh hello, they're all over the floor, it don't matter, they're old. That's your adjuster screw, disgusting. That is your sort of little pivot slider that goes in there, and this is the springs, the spring back mechanism. Rusty, gunky, full of crap. As you can see, my hands are disgusting just from manhandling these a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna get all those off, get them home. I've got some new replacement parts, and I've unscrewed this a little bit. I'm gonna try and get this off. I think I'll just get it off by hand, and we're just gonna check the mechanism here, because I think just unscrewing that, I think is freeing up the drum a bit more. You just gotta mallet this back, get it off, see if the drum frees up. Yeah, so I just had to use the pole that was on my wheel jack, give it a couple love taps here, and this has freed up the rear. So shame to say, I think it's seized up from the inside and it's reached its wear limit, which is a bit of a shame. There should be an indicator here. Yeah, oops. Okay, so the next step to remove the rear wheel is to remove the chain. It's really simple on these bikes. You use a pair of pliers, clip out that chain link, pull it out, and the whole thing just folds out. There is a wheel nut back here. Loosen it. You can take it off if you want. It don't really make a difference, but oh, don't want to drop it though. There you are. Well, good news. I have the drum brake off. Bad news is the drum brake looks completely fine, so there's some sort of seizure going on somewhere. I greatly assume that it is within the what's it called again? Oh, God knows what it is. This thing here, this annoying bugger here, this thing here, which has just been giving me problems because the pads look completely fine. But anyways, what I can do is I can take this home, because the pads, plenty of juice left on them, you know. I can take this home and get rid of all the dust, because that's definitely asbestos, and see if I can get this free. So I've been trying to do it here and I just can't. So let's see what happens at home. Okay, so here's the brake drum off the bike. Those are the springs there, and those are the drum shoes. I had a lot of struggle getting the shoes off of this. They were very stiff. The issue with this is that not the drums are worn out and it's metal rubbing against metal, but it's the linkage here that goes that the lever attaches onto here. All of this here is filled up with crud and it's locked up, because this should come with a seal around here and a sort of metal ring to cover it all. So you've got two seals protecting from dust and dirt. It had none of those, so that's why it got so built up with crud that it stopped working. I should have a spare O-ring for the seal. I'll use that as a seal for now, and I'll apply some grease everywhere. So yeah, I need to clean this up, apply grease, and put the new shoes back on with the original springs. I have to reuse these, but that's fine. They're completely fine anyway. So yeah, let's get cracking. Yep, there you are, there's your culprit. Lots and lots of rust built up in this shaft. There you are, went right in there. I had to wiggle and twist that out, smacking it with a hammer, trying to vibrate it, you know, dropping it in boiling hot water, blowtorch, trying to get heat to expand it. All of that just locked in there so much. See, I tried to use penetrating fluid. Good old PB Blast. That's moist, but this middle bit here is completely dry. So yeah, just absolute nightmare to get this off. Anyway, it's going to clean all these parts up properly and hopefully put them all back together in one piece. Just something I thought on my own. There was a bunch of grime, grit and sort of loose crud stuck in between the grooves of this shaft. just use an old wire brush and give it a good old scrub, and it should pull all the dirt out. I've given the springs a bit of a scrub as well because they're a bit grimy, but they're completely fine to use again. So yeah, let's put it back together. A very important step: grease these parts here and the bits that the drum shoes slide onto. So these bits here, they've got little runners on them that will hold and catch grease, and this big old shaft here has got some holders for grease. So same with the bit that it goes through here. So you just want to grease everything up and just sort of slide it all back together. Wipe any overs, because you don't want too much overs in these mechanisms, because if you have too much grease and it spills out and it gets caught on the drum rotor, then you're going to have these drum shoes working against grease, which is not a good combo. It's not going to break, is it? Well, here's your assembly. Here's what it should look like. Hopefully it works. Okay, so I found an O-ring to fit, slotted it all in there, got some silicone grease on the O-ring, got it all in there with the lithium grease on. We've got this lever here all brushed up and clean, so I think you can just slide it on there really. It's what is it, flat to flat, I think? There is a method to this. There is a sort of I don't know. Well, after a lot of yanking and plying at these springs to get them back in, I don't know if that's right. The springs are a bit taut whilst they're in this housing, but I assume they were like that before. Well, yeah, we've got a working drum brake. There you are. Wing activates. Springs back to position. Hang on, let me flip that now. Yeah, works pretty good. Here we have it. All assembled, perfectly working drum brake. Works great. It's yeah, pretty good. So the next step is going to be installing this back into my Honda, which will have to be in another video hopefully. So I'll clean this up a little bit more, check over a few things. Maybe if I've done something wrong, take it apart completely, put it back together again, it's fine. Little bit wary about these pins in here. They wouldn't fit with the new brakes, so I had to cut them in half and then just use individual pins and kind of bend them around to fit. I might invest in 2 more bits of wire. That's all they are, just bits of metal which are bendy. So if I can find any pieces of metal in this garage which are bendy, I might slot them in there and tidy that up just a little bit, or even use some wire, some really thin wire, slightly thicker wire, sewing wire. If you can get it all spindled up and twist the ends, you're fine. That'll hold basically. It's a drum brake at the end of the day. If they were to fall off, these wouldn't go too far. The springs are holding them in place quite a bit. That's just a fail safe at this point. So yeah, hopefully let's get this back in the bike next video and see if it runs and stops. Basically, stops is the important bit. Running is fine. I know it runs. Alright, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, really appreciate it. This is a work in progress, very slow work in progress. I need to motivate myself a little bit more. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.